Look, going through a divorce is incredibly stressful. There's just no way around it. And when your home, probably your biggest asset, gets thrown into the mix, that pressure can feel overwhelming. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. I'm going to give you a clear, step-by-step guide on how to get your home ready for a divorce appraisal, especially if you're in the Buffalo area, so you can be confident you're getting a fair, accurate number. Okay, let's get into it. This really is the big question, isn't it? When you're dealing with so much emotionally, how do you make sure that the value of your home, your investment, your history, is seen for what it truly is? It's about way more than just a number on a piece of paper. It's about fairness. And that's exactly what this explainer is designed to help you achieve. So here's our game plan, broken down into 5 simple, manageable parts. First, we're going to talk about the main goal and get inside the appraiser's head. Then we'll tackle the inside of the house, cleaning and repairs. After that, we'll head outside for curb appeal. Then comes the really important stuff, your paperwork. And finally, we'll cover what happens on appraisal day and what it's going to cost. This is your roadmap to taking back control. All right, let's start with the most important piece of the puzzle, understanding what we're actually trying to do here. This is a crucial first step, and honestly, it's where a lot of people go wrong right out of the gate.
Okay, this is absolutely key. You are not trying to sell your home to the appraiser. You don't need fluffy pillows and fresh-baked cookies. Your goal is so much simpler and more direct. You need to show them that this property has been well maintained. It is all about the condition of the house, not the decoration.
And this is where a little bit of psychology comes into play. Of course, an appraiser is a professional who focuses on hard facts, square footage, comparable sales, you know the drill. But they're also human. A clean, organized house sends this quiet, powerful signal that says, hey, this place is cared for. It can subtly and positively frame their entire perception of your property from the moment they walk in. Okay, so with that mindset, let's get practical. We're going to start inside the home, because this is where you can make a huge difference with just a little bit of focused effort.
Let's break this down. A deep clean is non-negotiable. It just makes everything feel newer and brighter. But decluttering? That's strategic. When you get rid of extra furniture, you're not just tidying up, you're making your rooms look bigger. You're letting the appraiser actually see the space they're measuring. And finally, fixing those little things, a leaky faucet, a sticky door, scuffs on the wall, one of those is no big deal, but a bunch of them together, that starts to tell a story of neglect, and that is the last story you want to be telling.
Now that the inside is looking sharp, let's head outside. You have to remember, the appraisal doesn't begin when they ring the doorbell. It begins the second they pull up to the curb. That first impression really does set the tone for the entire visit. And you know, none of this is rocket science, but the impact is massive. Mowing the lawn and trimming the bushes just screams orderly. A few fresh flowers by the door adds a pop of life. But the real game changer? A pressure washer. Seriously, you can take years off the look of your siding and walkways. Every single one of these little things reinforces that message we started with. This home is taken care of, inside and out. All right, the physical work is done. Now we're moving on to what might just be the single most powerful tool you have in this whole process, the paperwork. This is how you provide hard evidence of your home's true value. That's it, right there. You can't just tell an appraiser you put in a new kitchen, you have to prove it. Your documents are your voice in that final report, providing concrete, undeniable proof of every dollar you've invested. So let's run through this list. Renovation records show what you did. Receipts for the big ticket items, a new roof, a new furnace, are golden. Before and after photos, incredibly persuasive. They tell a story that words just can't. And don't forget to jot down notes on any high-end finishes, like that marble countertop. Put all of this in a nice, neat folder for the appraiser. You make their job easier, and you make absolutely sure nothing gets overlooked.
We're in the home stretch now. You've done the cleaning, the repairs, the paperwork, so let's talk about the big day itself. What to do and what to expect in terms of cost.
The golden rule for appraisal day is simple. Be helpful, but not a helicopter. Make sure every single part of the house is accessible. Unlock the attic, the basement, every closet. They need to see it all. Then, after you've welcomed them in and handed over your folder of documents, just step back and give them space. Let them do their job. So what's this going to set you back? Well, in the Buffalo area, you can generally expect a divorce appraisal to cost somewhere between $400 and $700. The final price really just depends on how big and complex your property is. Now, in most cases, that cost is just split right down the middle. But if things are more contested, it's pretty common for each person to hire their own appraiser to make sure their side is fully represented. And here's a little pro tip.
Always try to use a local Buffalo appraiser who has experience with divorce cases. They'll know the local market inside and out, and they'll understand the specific requirements of the courts.
So there you have it. By following these steps, you've gone from feeling stressed and uncertain to being prepared and in control. You've cleaned, you've repaired, and you've got the documents to back it all up. You've done everything in your power to make sure this valuation is fair and based on facts. So the question isn't about what the appraiser might find, it's about you. Are you ready to confidently present the true, complete story of your home's value?